Take it easy, boys.
Maybe poker's just not your game, Ike. I know. Let's have a spelling contest.
Episode 70. So check it out. So, Hecklers. You know, you ever been to a comedy show? You folks that's been to comedy shows. What's funny is I got some friends that are comics, and I was hanging out with a friend of mine, and we were talking Hecklers. And I've been to a lot of comedy shows, a lot. And I've been to a lot of open mics. I've been to a lot of professional comedy shows. And the reason why I was at a ton of open mics, because when my brother was starting to do comedy, and when he was doing open mics, I'd go to as many of them as I could. Very interesting. Open mics are very interesting social experiments. It is definitely a room full of losers and guys that aren't losers that are working their way out of that. But there's a lot of self-hate in that room. There's a lot of haters in that room. But that's not what I want to talk about. I was about to get off subject on open mics, which open mic, it looks like a lot of fun. I mean, I got to be honest. It looks like a lot of fun. You get up there, tell some jokes, man. You get to work out some stuff. But definitely in these open mics, man, there's guys that they are socially awkward. These motherfuckers are socially awkward. And it's weird. It's weird to watch them hate on each other because they're a lot of them. I'm not saying all of them because the pros definitely got out of open mic quickly. And I got nothing against open mic. I love open mic. I think it's cool, man. I think it's cool for music too. But it definitely breeds a certain type of person, or the person is in that open mic and they kind of get stuck there. Like, it's funny when guys have been in there for, say, 15 years. They've been doing open mics, and there's been some older guys in there. It was a trip, man. But anyways, Hecklers. We were talking about the Hecklers, and what we were specifically talking about is when it's weird when there's a couple, right? There's a couple, say, let's just paint a scenario. There's a couple sitting in the front row, and a comedian's on, and the girlfriend won't shut up. She won't shut up. She every joke that he tells, she has to comment on it, or if she doesn't agree, she has to say something about it. And then the comic has to rebut. The comic has to come back at her to get her to shut up. Now, a lot of these pros are great at it. They can shut it down, make it funny, all at the same time. But what's funny is when maybe the comic can't really shut it down, she's too drunk, and the boyfriend isn't doing anything about it. The boyfriend is kind of almost, now this is just the scenario. There's many types of these little scenarios, but where the boyfriend is almost saying he's sorry to the comic, like, oh, I'm sorry, man. I don't know what she. So what's weird, because this is what my buddy was telling me, is that what's weird is, why doesn't he just take her out of there? Or why doesn't he go, hey baby, you gotta be quiet for the show. You're ruining the show for me. You gotta be quiet. You're ruining the show for the whole room. But where the guy doesn't say anything, he's going, oh, I'm sorry, she's just out of control, she's drunk, whatever. But it's in the middle of a show. It's in the middle of this guy's set. And I think what a lot of people don't understand is comics have sets. They got a set list. They got jokes they want to tell. They try to make it seem like they're just popping off the top of the head, but no, these are worked acts. A lot of them are. A lot are. And a lot of great at crowd work and things like that. But what I'm saying is that there's a lot of work that goes into trying to put on a good, funny show for this comic. And this girl keeps yelling out after every joke, or in between a joke, or she doesn't agree with something, like he's saying it, like he's having a TED talk, or like he's having a speech. He's trying to tell you jokes, lady. He's trying to get you to laugh. That's it. He's trying to, and everybody's laughing. So if there's a show where everybody's laughing, but you seem to have a problem with his joke about him being Filipino or something, right? Well, and then he doesn't look Filipino, so she doesn't get it yet. But it doesn't matter whether he looks it or not, whether he is Filipino or not. They're jokes. They're jokes, lady. Relax. So, but it's weird. Where my brain went is, why doesn't he quiet her down? Why can't he do that? Like, I wonder what kind of relationship that is, where he can't get her to settle down. And now, maybe they were doing blow in the parking lot, came in, had a bunch of shots, and she just couldn't handle her liquor, and she's in a blackout. That happens. She's in a blackout. But, come on, dude. This looks bad on you. So you got to get her out of there. You got to go, sorry about this one, guys. Take your lumps. They're going to make fun of her. They're going to make fun of you. It's okay. What's wrong with a little ball busting? Nothing. Go ahead and take it. Just get her out of there. But man, I've seen it. I was at a comedy show one time, and this guy, I think I may have said this on the cast before, but now there's always one. In fact, let me go to this story instead. I was dating this girl a while back, good looking black girl, right? And she was a lot of fun. I liked her a lot. She was awesome. But after every joke, she would go, "Oh, that's so true. Oh, that's true. And she would turn to me, and I'd be like, "Okay, all right, yeah, it's a good joke. And then after every joke, she'd be like, "Oh," and then she'd have to tell me a story where the joke applies to her in the middle of the act, in the middle of this guy's set. And I had to go, "Hey, stop. I had to tell her to stop. I had to go, I need you to watch the show. Watch the show. And she didn't understand why I was telling her, just watch the show. Let's not talk. Because we're sitting, I think, if I remember correctly, we're sitting maybe the second row. And it was too much. And I had to go, hold on. And then I'll tell you why you're ruining the show for me and other people. Plus, it's quiet. You don't know everyone can hear you, including the comic who is going to annihilate you. And me, for that matter, which is okay. I like a little ball busting. Comics usually get me anyway, especially if I'm sitting in the front row, because I'm always wearing some sort of hat, my bowler or my scally cap, which, that draws a little of attention, so you can get ripped on. It's okay. But yeah, I had to tell her. And it's funny how she didn't understand. Now, after the show, she understood. I explained. But as the show was going on, she didn't understand. So I'm wondering, if you're a heckler, now, if you're in a blackout, if you got drunk and you're in a blackout, I'm giving you a pass. You still deserve a slap, but I'm giving you a pass. So my question is where does it come into your brain that you're just going to yell out in the middle of this room, in the middle of this show? And what I was thinking, I was wondering if it was kind of the same as if you're a class clown, right? So when you're in school, you had to yell out some shit. You had to yell out something funny to get the crowd, get the class to laugh. But you were trying to be the comic, I guess. But technically, in this scenario, the teacher would be head of class. Teacher had the microphone. Teacher had, technically, is the comic without being funny. But you would heckle. We would heckle the teachers. I guess that's true. So technically, in this comedy show, the comic is the teacher. And we're the students. And I bet a lot of comics love to hear that. And you're going to take us on this little journey. I dig it. Let's do it. And there's always one asshole or lady that has to yell out some bullshit. Or he makes some joke about gay folks or something, and now you're all pissed because that one struck a nerve with you. But the jokes about Jews and stuff before that was okay. All that was okay. Which, it's all okay is what I'm trying to say here. But when did it become your time to speak? And especially when you're say a 20-year-old, 25-year-old girl, it's weird that you have that type of gall to yell out in the middle of a room, especially when everybody's laughing, having a good time. It's so weird. But there is definitely the girl. Let's not even get to the negative part of it. Let's get to the girl that is having a blast. But man, she won't stop. Oh, that's so true. She's yelling out to the comic. Oh, that's so true. And nobody's really shutting her up, which is weird until, I guess, because most people don't want controversy. They don't want to turn. But if you're at the table, you got to be like, say her name is Karen for one. Say her name's Karen. You be like, hey, Karen, you gotta, let's not yell. Let's just go ahead and laugh at the jokes. And then we'll talk about it after the set, right? We can do that. But it's weird that you don't understand. So what I was trying to figure out was, why don't you understand? And maybe you don't understand entertainment, and that I understand. That I understand. I get it. You don't really understand how the machine works, the inner workings of. Usually, this comic works his set out over and over, does a few sets a night sometimes, does as many sets into some empty rooms as he can. He writes these jokes out. He says them to his friends, to his girlfriend, does whatever he needs to do to try to see if he can catch a laugh from some of these premises, which is very similar to music. This is how I relate, because you guys don't really see a lot of how it works when you go to the shows. You just see a band play, and that's how it goes. But you don't know that it starts with, say the lead guy, the songwriter, which in my case is me. You write the songs, you structure it, you write the riffs, and then you present it to the band, and then you rehearse it. There's hours put in. There's time, there's money, there's hours put in. Now, if you're a good performer, musician, you're putting together a show. You put together a set for people so they pay money to come see you. You're not just, sometimes a lot of you guys just see these practice bands that go from song to song and, they click it off and then they say thanks to their mother. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying a real band that puts on a show, a real musician, a real artist that puts on a show. And that's the same with comics. They've cultivated this set list of jokes, and you're interrupting their flow. Now, you can go, well, they're obviously not that good if they can't take my heckle. Well, that's not necessarily true. I mean, it's disrupting, and it's a little different because at a rock show, I encourage all you guys to yell. But sometimes it does throw me off sometimes. I'll be doing a set, and somebody will start yelling the same shit over and over again, or a song that I don't do anymore, or even a cover song, and it's over and over. Then I finally have to address it. Now, usually I'm pretty good at addressing it and moving along, but I imagine some people that are new can't get through it. So I guess it's a little different as a comic, because I always hate this when comics will they'll say, well, it's like being in a band, or it's like playing music. And I go, no, it's not really. It's different. It's all different. So believe me, comics, I'm giving you your props, because I enjoy comedy. I enjoy stand-up comedy. I always have. It's fantastic. I mean, my mother and I used to watch stand-up comedy when I was a young boy. So I do really enjoy stand-up comedy, but it's weird when I see somebody that just can't not be the center of attention. You want in on this? Yeah. You want in on this, girl? I'm stand-up comedy.
Let me make us a drink. Oh, I've watched some shit lately.
Stand-up. Well, no, I'm talking about what I'm talking about. The stand-up is what I'm talking about. Hecklers. Like, I'm trying to get in the mind. I know I'm trying to get into the mind of a heckler. And I'm getting down to it. I'm figuring it out.
All right, I'm making you a drink.
Go ahead and get your drink. Go ahead and get us a drink. I'm going to continue. Sparrow looks like she peed herself. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take a break. Yeah, we're back.
Hi, guys.
Sorry, we had to take a break because technically my dog is the heckler. because while I'm on a flow here, I'm flowing in the cast, my dog peed herself. And she's peeing herself because she's on this medication and she can't hold her pee.
That sucks.
So I think we got maybe 2 more days of this shit.
But no, usually Sparrow's a heckler by doing this.
Yeah.
Just being Sparrow.
She makes noise. But you don't have to sit right there if you don't want to.
Yeah, I kind of want to see your face. I miss your face.
There's plenty of room.
I haven't seen your face in like
5
days.
Jenna's back. She's back on the cast.
Hi, guys. Oh, I missed you.
So I'm talking about hecklers. You know what I mean? And what I'm trying to figure out is specifically the heckler, the female heckler, the drunk female heckler. Why do females feel that it's time to speak at that moment? Why do they feel it's time to yell?
Normally, it's during a time when a guy goes, "You know what my girlfriend said," up on stage.
Right.
Right. It's normally a guy like talking about like in a comedian world. It's normally a guy like talking about his girlfriend or his wife, and she goes, "But you probably did something wrong," you know?
Yeah.
So she's feeling personally threatened or attacked by his own story because it rings too true in her own life. That's my theory.
Right, but see, it's not the time to speak. You know, just watch the show.
But she's drunk, number one. And number two, she's probably brought there by a new dude that she's dating and still like fucking jaded from the last dude that she got her heart ripped out because she sucks in the first place.
Well, there's my next question was, why doesn't the guy go, hey, you gotta quiet down now. Now's not the time.
Well, because there are times where, like, you and I have got a very secure relationship, and there's been times when you go, knock that off.
Yeah, you got to stop.
And then I realize, oh shit, I'm being obnoxious. But a lot of girls will take it like, he tries to put me in my place and tell me what to do, where to go, blah blah blah. You know, like.
Well, then if the guy can't control her, he's got to get her out of there.
Well,
he's got to walk her out.
If she can't take it, yeah, she's got to be walked out. But that's gonna be a whole nother shit show for him to deal with.
Well, I think here's what I would do if I'm gonna put myself in the scenario, and she just won't quiet down. She won't shut up. So I gotta go. Oh man, what if she won't leave? Jeez, and that happens. I watch these clips online from some of my friends. You know, like Vince Royale, comedian. You know, he'll post some stuff, and Adam Hunter, who I haven't talked to in a long time, who's a great guy and an excellent comedian, but he posts hecklers all the time. And he posts where he annihilates the heckler. But he's so great, but he's also been doing it forever.
Yeah.
He's been doing it forever. I mean, he's a pro. These guys are pros. So, you know, Vince is a pro and Adam's a pro. So it's not that bad, but I watched some of the clips that Adam posts where guys are just walking up on stage and the guy's like, "Hey, can I get your mic?" And Adam's like, "Yeah, go ahead." And he's like, "Hey, someone leave their lights on out in the parking lot." No joke. This is real. And Adam's like, "Hold on, what just happened?" But he plays along. He's like, "Hey man, I hope you get a DUI when you go home." Anyways, and he just, he'll just kind of like, he'll try to get him, but it's a weird move. Why did he get on this stage like that? It's so weird.
Well, the guy talking about the parking lot stuff, is he like some dude that works at the venue?
Either way, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, either way, that guy's got Asperger's.
It was definitely somewhere in the South, and it was kind of like this outside gig.
Okay.
And but you could tell it was very Southern. I don't know where, But
like, dude, get off my fucking stage, man. Especially for comedians. Comedians, like, when they're traveling like that, like, with the most, unless you get a special or something, the most you get is 20 minutes up there, you know?
yeah, but what I was figuring out during this cast here was, I think the general populace doesn't understand that these comedians cultivate this act and this performance.
Yeah, they work on it.
They work on it, but they make it look like they're just up there talking and they just happen to be funny.
Yeah.
And I don't think the audience understands that he's trying to put on a show. He's trying to entertain you. And I think a lot of the audience thinks he just gets up on stage and riffs. And so it's a one for all for one kind of thing.
Yeah, no, they're working their shit out.
I think most people at a comedy show knows what's up.
But
there's always one out of whatever, how many people are in this room.
Yeah, there's that one person that thinks, oh, they've never played this song before as a musician. No, we fucking work our shit out. There's a craft.
That's exactly what I said on the cast already.
Jesus.
And I was trying to do it in a way. I don't want to compare music with comedy because I kind of hate when the comics do it with music.
Yeah, but in that sense, if you got somebody that goes like that, like that'd be like somebody thinking that we musicians haven't played these songs over and over and over again.
I think that's true.
Comedians, don't just get up there and just start talking.
No, but there's a lot of people that think we just come up with a song and then it's on the stage the day after, like it is in the movies. And here's how I know people think that happens, because back in the day, girlfriends would want to come into the studio and watch us record.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah,
it's boring if you're just a watcher. We're doing the same take. They thought we're gonna jam it out and it's gonna be incredible. And there's right.
Or especially when they come in, they like, I want to see your process.
Yeah, and then they're bored in 5 minutes.
I like the verse the first time you did it.
Yeah, here's the process. Check.
Yeah.
How's that sound? Good. Check. Pull down 240 if you could.
Can you give me a little reverb on that? I like my voice to sound a little wet, but not like I'm in a cave.
Or it's every drum. Dum, dum, dum. It's boring. It's a boring process. I love it, but it's a boring process to an onlooker. But it's weird when the heckler is just yells out.
Yeah.
Just yells out. And guys do it too, but I'm specifically talking about chicks because it's a guy. Security can get him out of there.
Yeah.
You can't do that with a chick. You can't get her out of there. You can't grab her.
You know, I just recently...
And I've seen those videos, yeah.
I just recently... And it's in every single one of Bill Burr's specials. He always has that one asshole that just stands up and yells something.
Yeah.
And we were on the road this weekend and listening to Bill Burr because I force all my very feminist friends in my van to listen to Bill Burr, who's very pro-women anyways, but you know.
I'm pro-women.
It's fucking hilarious just to watch them go like, and they're not knowing if he's joking or not. By the way, guys, he's a fucking comedian. It's a fucking joke.
That's what I said on the cast already.
It's a fucking joke.
That's what I said.
Jesus Christ.
That's what I was saying about any of the jokes. There's no wrong joke when it's funny.
Yeah,
Sometimes they tried a joke that they thought was funny. It wouldn't be funny. It doesn't matter if it's about race, sex, dogs, kids, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
If it's funny, it's funny. Relax, guys. Learn to laugh.
How the fuck did you guys think George Carlin made it so huge? It's not like he hated everyone. He just
I think he did.
Liked to pretend. Maybe he did, but he liked to lead that on because it's a fucking joke, man. Anyways, so talking about hecklers, like Rachel and I were driving, and she's like, "Why doesn't this person just?" It's the Red Rock special. Like, why doesn't this person just shut the fuck up? Like, security get him. I'm like, I think it's a girl.
Yeah, with chicks you can't, and if they won't shut up, you can't grab them, so you're stuck.
Yeah.
A guy you just catch a smack. A guy, another guy in the crowd will smack him.
Yeah, and then if the girl's super drunk and you get a female security guard in there to get her, then now she's gonna start swinging. Yeah,
but so that's why it's rough. But it's a weird one because I can't imagine. I was telling a story of when I was dating a girl and she was having so much fun at the show, but after every joke, she would have to turn to me and tell me why that was funny and how it related to her. You know what I mean? And I had to go, okay. And then by the third time I go, okay, you're going to need to stop now.
Yeah.
And then after the set, we'll talk.
Yeah, if you're funny, you're funny.
Right.
Like
Right, but there's all that, but it's a weird mentality. But some people just don't get it. Here's another great example. I was at a comedy show with a friend at the time, and we were sitting in the front row. Anytime I'm in the front row, a comic's gonna pick me out. They just do. They will every time.
Yeah, you have a beacon of light that shines down on you from God that goes either
make fun of
try
him,
to annihilate this guy, or be afraid of him.
Well, and usually I'm wearing a hat, and the hat, you can make fun of the hat. It's easy to make fun of. So, but every comic had to mention my hat, my chain, right, whatever I was wearing.
Were you right in the front row?
I was in the front, very front.
Course.
And so every comic came out, and my friend at the time was like, you gonna take that shit, man? Fuck these motherfuckers. Fuck these, let's fucking get them. And I go, bro, yeah, I'm gonna take it. It's hilarious. Relax.
It's a joke.
We're here to have fun. These are comics. It's a joke. And even one of the comics, when he was done, he came off and gave me a little high five. I was like, you're a good sport, man, and then walked off. And I go, I know. Look, that was minor ball busting to what I've dealt with, but I'm just going, he didn't understand either. He's like, what the fuck, man? You gonna take that? I go, yeah. Plus, no one said anything too bad. They were just making fun of my hat or my clothes or, And
it's funny, but he's one of those people that can't put the line that, this is art and expression and comedy to this is real life, and they're fucking with you.
Right.
Where are you going to a comedy show? People pick on each other. It's funny. It's ball busting.
That's how I met Joe Rogan. When Joe Rogan was at the Improv, there was a table full of giant fat black women. and they couldn't move their face. They were so angry. They were mean.
Why were they angry?
They were just angry.
What did he say that was so?
It wasn't Rogan. It was all the other guys. Well, for one, it was Ari Shaffir back in the day.
Oh, okay, when he was fucking annihilator.
Well, Ari Shaffir used to have hair like a clown. He was balding and he had this big Jufro. And he was outside talking to people outside the show, and there was a line. These black women were making fun of him, calling him a nerd and stuff.
Oh, okay.
But not to his face, but he can hear him. We all could kind of hear him. I didn't know who Ari Shaffir was at the time either. And anyways, he, just like a professional comic, just relaxed. And then when he went on stage, he annihilated him on stage. He just smashed him. And he was like, I heard what you said. And he was like, and he just went on. He went on what they look like, what they're eating. They just had giant piles of food, But anyways, but they were just they just had a sourpuss face.
So mad.
And every comic had to address them because they were
because now they became the token fucking, now you're here and you're fucking with our dude.
Well, even before Ari, and maybe they were talking about it in the green room, but every comic had to address how miserable that table was.
Looked.
So anyways, Rogan came on. He was the closer, and he killed, and he mentioned them too. And we all walk out, and I go to the bar at the Improv. If you're familiar with the Improv, there's a bar that right outside the door of the stage. Anyways, Rogan's out. He's sitting out there with his buddy, and I walk out. I go, why do you come to a comedy show and not come here to have a good time? He goes, I know, right? So me and Rogan were talking for a while, him and his buddy and stuff. Mm-hmm. That's where that picture that I have came from. But anyways, it was one of those things where it's like, why are you even here? Why did you come if you don't want to have a good time? It's weird.
So you're just gonna sit in your corner and be like, meh.
Yeah, and these were killer comics. This wasn't.
Yeah, that sounds like an awesome.
Wasn't
night.
an open mic. It was the Improv. Yeah. It was a huge lineup, and it's so funny when everybody's having a good time except for that table. What does that mean? Why are they those people? What's in their brain?
I don't know. I don't understand people that don't get ball busting. Like, there's just people like
I understand they're sensitive. I understand that.
Oh no. There's being able to take a joke and they're sensitive. Like there's like snowflake. Like fuck. Okay. I'm gonna totally out
a snowflake.
I'm gonna totally out situations here, but I'm not. So I'm not gonna say names. But it does have to deal with this last weekend, and I was talking with somebody that I know very well, and they were just venting.
Yeah.
And venting about angry stuff in their life, and just not yelling at me, but yelling at the situation. Because I'm really good at being like, dude, talk to me. Like, just lay it on me. I'm okay with that stuff. You can, like, if you're angry, we'll go fucking yell at the sky together. If
start a podcast.
Yeah, exactly. You want to go break things? I'll grab stuff for you to break and bring you the baseball bat, you know? But certain people in the room didn't understand, like, and after I was saying, you know, they're just venting. Don't worry, it's nothing wrong. It created, like, fucking, like, a pin up people's asses.
Oh, because she or he mentioned a person in the room?
No, had nothing to do with anybody there. Or
mentioned
anything.
A word that they found offensive?
No, it was just yelling.
It was just yelling. Oh, it caused an energy that was.
I guess so.
That they didn't like.
But yeah, I guess, and that's true. But like, also when you go like, we're traveling in a group of our friends. So I go, I'm letting this person vent on me. Don't worry, I'm okay. They're not mad at me. They're mad at the situation. I'm letting them fucking yell. Because sometimes you just need to yell at someone.
Yeah.
Even though you're not yelling at that person in particular, you need somebody to hear that anger to validate, like, you were heard, you know?
Right.
Especially when you're thousands of miles away from the person that needs to hear that anger.
Can we get this person on the podcast one day?
Yeah.
Probably. That sounds fun.
Probably.
I want to sit down with all.
It's a snowflake situation where people are just like, they said something I don't like, and I don't know how to take it, and like, I'm afraid of everything or mad at everything.
I hear and see something I don't like every day.
Right. I see people yelling at other people every day. You know, I go, hey, knock that off.
The
Don't
thoughts
do that
I have
here.
in my head every day when I'm passing by somebody.
Yeah.
I'm just like, ugh. This is my thought all the time, and my brain goes, ew.
But I think it's a whole situation where people are just like, you say one thing that's offensive, or you do one thing that they're not used to, and then all of a sudden they shut down. They shut down, or they become like, fuck that guy, or
well, I think,
so hurt.
well, it's
like, I don't know what the fuck.
Everybody's got a button, unless everyone has a button, unless that button's been pushed a million times. And I think what happens is a lot of people don't have friends that they can joke with. Yeah. They have friends, and they have family that they can talk to and things like that, but they can't really joke.
Yeah.
Where you can say some shit and everyone just goes, that's a good one, right?
And I don't think that younger generations really, like, you and I grew up in the world where people picked on each other, and that was fun. You're just fucking with each other
all day.
You're taking, and it's called taking the piss out of someone. You're just fucking with them, right? I mean, younger generations, they'll joke about stuff. They'll be dirty and funny and raunchy, but like as soon as you say something about somebody in particular, like you go, oh yeah, you know, I heard that, but I bet you heard it better, Dumbo, or something like
Dumbo.
Yeah.
Wow, way to go.
I'm just saying, just to pick on somebody's insecurities. But as friends, we do that. As friends, we would pick on each other's insecurities. Now, I can't do that with many of my friends.
Well,
and many of my friends, meaning all my girlfriends, can't do that.
That's hard. That's a hard world with women. Ball busting's hard with women because you can't mention looks.
But
you can't mention any sort of looks or even attitude, really. So we got nothing. We got nothing we can say.
My circle, like growing up in the trailer park, it was me and 5 other guys and my brother, and that was all of us growing up. And I had to be just part of the boys with that, and so I had to take the brunt of it, and so I had to learn how to fuck with them too.
I get that,
and I think that's how a lot of the major female comedians probably have circles of guys that they can take the piss out of, and then they can take it back too.
Well, they hang out with other comics.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. I also believe in a lot of these type of arts or team sports where guys and gals are mixing. I do believe there is there's a value to that because it toughens you up.
Yeah, exactly.
It toughens you. Now, hold on. It toughens you up as long as you feel like that a man can say whatever. We can do whatever. Mm-hmm. We can, because nowadays it does seem things are way different.
Oh yeah.
And the first thing that pops into my head is when I used to run the burlesque show. Mm-hmm. Everyone would get changed in the same room, men, women. You know what I mean? There wasn't even a thought.
High school theater. Yeah. High school theater, we were all backstage. We were all we're all naked in front of each other at one time or another because we were rushing to get our costumes on. It's not like we were looking at
And I got to be honest, nowadays, if I'm running that show, we're in separate rooms now. It would just have to be.
Yeah.
But I think what that does, and I think that's, you got to do it. But what I think that does, it starts to turn people into snowflakes and wear kid gloves with other people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe my changing in the room is a bad example, but I'm just saying that.
Well, yeah, because you got the biggest dick in the room and you're going to intimidate all the guys and all the girls are going to be like, hey.
That's not necessarily true at all. Okay. But it is true. Where the girls would just get changed and walk naked by me and nobody cares. It wasn't even a thought. Because
you had to get shit done. If somebody was back there,
we have no time because they have costume change for one. You got a costume change in the middle of a show.
Yeah.
So we got no time. In out.
But like even though it's Hollywood and stuff, when you see stuff that take place back in the 1920s, and you got the vaudeville girls changing in the back, and you got the manager that's a dude that's just walking through talking to somebody. Yeah, that shit happens. That shit happened to me in high school.
Yeah, but now on the commercial that I was on, they don't even want me taking my shirt off outside. I have to go and change. Everyone has to go and change in a separate room. Where I would just, because they always give you the option when you get your wardrobe, they always give you the option of going in the changing room where you can just fucking throw it on right here. I always go, I just throw it on right here. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Now there is no option. You have to go now.
When I'm out with the girls, and I brought this up because I was rooming with Ariel, who's our youngest, and she's a very late millennial, almost Gen Zer, right? And
Gen Z, what is Gen Z?
Gen Z is like people born from like 95. And
where are they getting these names? I understand millennial. Where are you getting Z? What?
Z, because it was
Generation Z,
X, and then there was no Y. There was millennial, then Z.
Are we starting with A, B, C, D, E?
No, it's just things that like Gen Z. Like
I've never actually thought about it.
I don't know. No, because there was the baby boomers. There,
Right, but then there was Generation X.
There was the greatest generation, which is everybody in the 1940s. The greatest that were born in the 20s and 30s and fought in the wars in the 40s through 50s.
Yeah.
After that, the baby boomers, and then there's the Gen Zers. Like baby boomers was from late 50s to early 70s. Then the Gen Xers, mid 70s, onto the early 80s or early 70s, early 80s. Like that the whole. I don't know. I think it's something that's recent though, within the last 50 years that we've been doing that.
Well, I think it just with every generation. The older generation is always going to think the younger generation are pussies.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
My point with that is that like with Ariel, and even though she's the dirtiest one, tells the dirtiest jokes out of all of us, I'm like, I'm changing. I hope you don't mind. She goes, nope, it's cool. Like we all run around, the girls, we all run around naked together, or I at least give them a warning. If you don't want to see it, then cover your eyeballs.
I mean, it's really just a human body. We all just need to relax.
It's so stupid to be like, ew.
And the more taboo you make it, the more people are going to want it. And the more people, that's why Pornhub is through the fucking roof.
But I want to see the porn numbers in Europe as compared to the porn numbers in the United States, because they have nudity on primetime television, on network television.
Well, I think that's why they have to be even weirder. That's why they're doing bukkake films, you know.
Well, I mean, but we are too. But
Yeah, but it's like specifically German bukkake. Like that's a whole other world right there.
It's German bukkake, so it's German people doing Japanese stuff.
Yeah. And they're just dripping loads and loads of semen all over some poor chick's head. That's basically what it is.
Was she just sitting there? She's like with her eyes closed. And
She just she like they put it in a cup. She drinks it. And
oh God! Thank you for grossing me out.
German bukkake.
We're just all gonna come in this one cup, and you're gonna drink our cock cocktail.
I mean, if you think some Americans are crazy, look up some of the Japanese porn or some of the
I like watching Japanese porn, but the thing with Japanese porn is that you can't show penises or vaginas in it, so it's always covered by something.
But they stick weird shit up their hoo-ha, man.
Yeah, I've seen like octopuses crawling out of them,
snakes and shit.
Yeah.
The fuck?
That's weird.
Guys, relax. Jesus. How about good old-fashioned missionary?
Hey, by the way, that's bestiality.
I guess that
Just
is.
letting you guys know. That's bestiality.
I guess that is. Is that really bestiality? You stick a snake up there? I guess so.
Yeah, it's bestiality.
Is it bestiality if it's male to female? Like male dog to female chick?
Yes.
Is that still bestiality? I guess.
But using animals in any sort of sex
but
act is bestiality.
But does the dog enjoy it though? Does the dog like, fuck yeah, man?
Yeah, sometimes I think so.
Yeah, but see the other way, the dog's like, what the fuck are you doing to me? When dudes are doing it, ugh.
I think I can't. I'm grossed.
See where this
now.
cast goes.
So grossed
see what happens.
Now.
See, this cast is hot, man. This cast is going through the roof. It is fucking disgusting what people do. I want to get off the animal.
All right, yeah, because you're making. I'm literally got a pit in my stomach. Sorry,
guys.
Yeah, that's his fault.
Yeah, but back to hecklers. We went from heckles and figuring out where their mind works to snakes and vaginas.
Yeah,
interesting. Very interesting.
Okay, grossed out.
I want to start doing like the sum up of these podcasts when we go through a list and just mark the list in a row of the subjects that happen. But let's get back to the heckle. Okay. So and then we'll close out. The heckle still. Okay, here I'm gonna say something. So I was out with, I was telling you about that comedy show that I went with Dusty and Allie and
oh yeah, that guy
and Angela and Dusty's buddy, and the comics were awful for one.
Okay,
the comics were bad, so they couldn't handle it. But the crowd was very giving. It was a great crowd, and the comics were so bad, and even the comics would be like rough crowd. I'd be like, people are laughing, bro. What do you mean rough crowd? We're enjoying. We're trying to enjoy ourselves. You guys are the ones that. It was so weird.
You guys are the ones that have a problem with yourselves.
No, I didn't say anything. This is in my head. I was so interested. I'm looking at these comics, going, all the comics were such in a shitty mood, and they would come out and be like fucking rough crowd, and the crowd was giving them everything. It was a dumb joke, and the crowd would laugh.
Also, you never do that, dude. Don't ever sit there and go
never
rough
ever
crowd. It's like me going, "Oh, I fucked up" when
ever
in the middle of a song.
Nope,
like,
never, never do it. But
dumbass.
But so our table got drunk. Angela got drunk, and Dusty's friend got drunk.
Okay,
Dusty's friend, nice guy, he's buying everybody drinks. He was having a good time. He was a big guy too, very big electrician dude. And anyways, they got drunk and started yelling at the comics after every joke.
No, I can see that with Ange.
They were, but she was playing along. She thought she was playing along. They weren't being mean, like boo. They were going, oh yeah, that's funny, right? And the comic would be like, okay, yeah, okay. And then the comic would have to address them. So the comics, but they weren't clever enough to have a funny joke at him, but they would mention, like, the guy was a big guy, so they mentioned his weight and how fat he was and shit. So they throw that out there, but it wasn't funny. And then they're
just being insulting.
They were just kind of being
shut up, Taboo.
But I had to go to the table. I did this to the table. I could start to see him say something. I go, no.
I'm glad I didn't come.
No, I left. I actually left.
I know. I remember
Yeah.
you telling me that. I remember coming home going, "Hey, baby, how was that show?" And you're like,
Well, I mean, it was fun to be out with friends. It was cool to have drinks and stuff. And I do love being at those nights because I find them they are interesting.
"Yeah, it totally is a study of it's a sociological study of
Big
just,
time,
like,
and I love it.
like,
And
I
I
want to
love
see how broken this person is."
and I love following the comic after he gets off stage because their life looks like it's over.
I love when they go,
They're just they're just fucking. And the headliner, the quote unquote headliner, walked off stage. He just walked off. He didn't even finish a joke. He was on for 2 minutes and he goes, "Fuck this," and walked off. It's like, what the fuck just happened? And
you know what? Maybe none of them, like maybe they were all promised like money, and then nobody got paid before they went on, and they're like, "Nope,
you get paid after. You're supposed to get paid after. But either way, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter. Go up and do something that you love to do. Supposedly, is go up and tell jokes.
yeah."
But our table was a little bit of a problem, but not too bad. But it was bad. But it could have been worse if I didn't go, "Hey."
You're sitting there on the table just banging. No, shut up.
Well,
Shut up.
Angela-
You hear all the glasses clink.
Angela got drunk and was like, "Ah!" She would like laugh at the wrong part, you know, like, and then they'd be like, the joke's not even over," and she'd be like, "Ah!" But that's a great example. It's a great example of a table of having fun, but we're disruptive.
Yeah, but at least they're not the big black girls there in the corner being
Just,
all, "Meh."
you know what that face is? Yeah, it was so silly. But and here's our version. Here, you want to hear the music version of a heckler?
Sure.
Play Skinner. Play some Skinner.
No, I
Over
know.
and over.
You know what I get? It's not I'm gonna take it from off the stage. Let's do internet hecklers. Let's do keyboard cowboys. I get at least 2 times a day on comments on our posts and shit. Yeah, it's so easy to play songs that are already popular for other bands and go and make a living out of it. I'm like, you think we're fucking making a living out of this, man? We're still fucking musicians, still trying to tour over the world, dude. You're a bunch of bullshit.
Well, now
And it's easy when you're all hot chicks playing music that's already been recorded.
Well, thanks. You should be like, "Thanks for calling us hot, though." You know what I mean? Like, hey.
Well, no, it's usually
I appreciate that
it's
one.
usually not even not hot chicks. It's normally just chicks.
Well, it's you added hot.
Which means that you have a little wiener and you're sitting there in your keyboard cowboy the whole night long. Just being mad.
Nah, what it
that you
means.
live in your mom's basement.
No, that person's in a band and can't get on stage.
Yeah, they're in a band that sucks, not going anywhere.
Because we forget there's a lot of bands that can't get on stage. They just can't find a stage to play.
Can't find a stage to play, or they can't play a fucking tune.
Or they can't play and can't get their band to show up, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But don't read the comments.
Oh, no. It's not just the comments. It's in the personal boxes, in our message
Oh, you get a
boxes.
message? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look, I would have to say, but if you're not getting the hate, then, you know.
Yeah, if you're not getting hate, then you're not doing anything
You're
right.
not doing anything right because out of 100 people, there's always going to be one
There's
person.
always that
yeah.
one person. Like, what fucking ray of sunshine never came through your window,
Because
dude?
my question,
Sorry about that.
I always think too, like after if I get off stage and I know we just annihilated a room, everybody loves you. I always go in my head, I go, who's the one person that hated the show? I want to know. Because there's got to be one.
I had one that got to me recently. We just got back from Denver, and the guy said almost exactly that. And and they said, you know, you guys would be better off if you went off and worked at McDonald's or something. I'm like, oh yeah, I'd spit in your fucking burger, dude.
That's a dumb thing to say.
I'm sure you're.
You would be better off if you worked at McDonald's.
Yeah, and I said, yeah, I'd be
That's
better off
stupid.
at McDonald's, but I'd be spitting in your burger, and I'm sure you're 500 pounds now eating your fucking Big Mac at the very moment. So you want to come and fuck with me? Let me tell you, the person to come and talk to next time you're at one of our shows, go talk to Jenna, because she takes all personal criticism very well.
Well, I would say to not even engage.
Oh no, that guy hit a chord, and I hope that he chokes on the burger that he's in his mouth.
Don't engage. I've been getting very good at not engaging. I can act like you're not even there. I just walk away.
Out of anybody, I'm good at ignoring all the fucking idiots.
Yeah,
I get a ton of them every day. That one got to me for some reason, and I don't know why, but I ended up putting him in his place anyways.
Well, yeah, don't pay attention. Everyone's gonna get hate. In my mind, I never type out hate or tell anybody, but I see a ton of shit online. I go, what the fuck?
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
And I hate so much of the music that's out, and I hate
agree.
so much, and I'm disgusted with some of these fucking terrible pop stars or rappers. I'm just like, you guys are fucking awful, but I'm not gonna spend any time commenting.
Yeah, like what kind of energy do you or what kind of time do you have in your life to be like, I fucking
all of it,
hate this band so
all the time. No, they have all the time.
Yeah, like what are you doing? You're doing nothing.
They're doing nothing. That's why they have the time.
Yeah.
They have all the time in the world.
I think it's because that one guy called me out personally, so I got pissed.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, I got pissed. I'm like, you know what?
If you're not hated, you can't be loved by everybody.
And of course, I didn't tell him it was me there running the social media. I'm like, oh, thank you for your personal criticism. The person to talk to you about that the most is Jenna because she's really good at taking personal comments.
Yeah. All right.
So next time you're at one of their shows, if you ever happen to be there, be sure to come up and let her know exactly how you feel.
I like it. All right, guys, we're going to get out.
All right, later,
go
guys.
watch the Night Out with Go-Go Riot.
Dude,
2 was up.
That was sick, by the way.
Number
that
2?
was awesome, yeah.
You like the second one?
Hell yeah.
You like
I
the
watched
second
it on
one?
the plane. It was awesome.
Right on. Number 2 is out. Number 3 will be coming out. And for all merch, go to skrrecords with a Z.com. Later.
Later.